Hello, friends, and welcome back to the tent. My name is Christy, spelled with an E. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful day. I thought today would be a good time to tell you guys how I lost 80 pounds. It's a little bit of a story. So let's get started. A couple years ago when I was 38. I was having a bad day at work. Not that the work that I was doing was bad. I started feeling very strange. And I went to one of the other secretaries and I told her that I didn't really know. I felt weird. I felt off. I didn't really know what was going on. I wanted to lie on a cold floor. And I knew there was something wrong. And my boss's wife said, "Oh, let me take you to the hospital." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. I don't need to go to the hospital. I'll go to the doctor's office up the road." So we went there and they, took blood and all those little tests that they do. And they said, "Oh, everything's fine." They were going to send me home. But there was one nurse there. I will remember her to this day. Her name was Heather. Wonderful girl. And she said, "There's something wrong. You got to do some more tests." So they gave me an EKG, had me all hooked up, and I'm just lying there and, got all these stickers on me. And the nurse is watching the paper come out and she looks at it and rips it off and runs out of the room. And I'm just like, okay. She came back in a few minutes later and handed me a little pill to stick under my tongue and told me that I was having a heart attack and that she had called me an ambulance. So thank you to Heather for saving my life because I was going to go home and take a nap. A nap I probably would never have woken up from. And I also found out, I went to the hospital. This was in South Carolina. I went to the Aiken Hospital and they did emergency heart surgery. They had to put a stent in. My veins had collapsed. They said it was due to stress. Minimal to no heart damage. They put me on a statin and some other drugs and told me that I also had diabetes. And so I got put on medication for diabetes. So I was taking about 6 or 7 different medications. And it was not fun. Not fun at all. I was trying to manage my diabetes. I thought I was eating healthy. I was following, excuse me, hello. I was following, the food pyramid. I'm Italian, so I ate pasta an awful lot. Sandwiches for work. I made quinoa bowls that I was taking to work with me for lunch. I was trying to eat as healthy as I possibly could, and my sugars were not coming down because now I was monitoring my sugars, and they would stay between 300 and 500. And they put me on some different medications. I went from metformin to taking insulin shots, where I was taking 2 shots a day of 40 units each. And it still wasn't lowering my blood sugar. And so that was when I was 38. So now I have to go ahead to when I'm 42. So 4 years later, I woke up one morning sick and tired of injecting myself. It was not fun. It was not something I wanted to keep doing. And I decided I was going to stop eating sugar to try and, get my sugars down. And I started learning about food and that carbs are basically sugar. And about the difference between glucose and fructose and all these different things. And I learned about the keto diet, the ketogenic diet. And I said, that's kind of what I need to do. So I was not counting calories. This was not for weight loss. This was just, I don't want to be on all these medications anymore. And within 2 months of cutting out sugar and most carbs, I had got my sugar to go down below 150. So I quit the insulin. And I kept learning. I'm very, very hungry for knowledge. I have to know why. That's my biggest thing is why. Why this? Why that? Why this way and not that way? And it's a never-ending struggle to figure out the whys behind things. And after a while, I started noticing that I'm losing weight. When I quit sugar, I was just at 200 pounds. And I was mortified. I never thought that I would be 200 pounds. I thought, I hit 200 pounds, I'm dead. 200 pounds is way too much. I did not want to be 200 pounds, and here I was. So I quit eating sugar and carbs. I was eating mainly meat and cheese and berries, and that was about it. Maybe a little bit of yogurt here and there. And as I kept learning about different diets and everything, I stuck with the keto diet as well as I could. Sometimes it's hard when you're visiting other people or you're on vacation where, you don't want to be rude and say, oh, I can't eat that. And so there were times when I slipped a little bit and ate things that I probably shouldn't have. And about a year after that, I got pregnant. And that had been my dream for my entire life. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to have a child of my own. And I was very excited. And my doctors had told me, don't eat keto while you're pregnant. You need to eat some carbs. And they, gave me prenatals and other things. And following all my doctor's orders. And I ended up losing that baby at around 10 weeks. And that was devastating and very hard. It's not the first miscarriage. And I really hope it was the last, because I don't want to go through that anymore. But I started learning more and delving deeper into food and why is this not happening? Why is my life like this? How can I fix things? And as I started learning more, and I had gained weight because I had gone back on eating carbs. So I went back up. I was at about 136, 140 pounds a year ago when that happened. And I gained about 15 pounds. And so I was back up around 150 again. And I knew it wasn't the way I needed to be. I needed to go back and get rid of the carbs again because my body does not like them. And then I listened to an interview with Jordan Peterson and his daughter, who healed many illnesses using the carnivore diet or the proper human diet. And that got me very interested. And I thought I could never really do that. Meat is so expensive. And I had to reevaluate things. No, I don't like spending money on things. I don't think anybody likes spending a bunch of money on stuff. But I will refuse to pay, $25 for a pair of jeans. I'd rather go get some at Goodwill. And I realized that I can't put a price on my health. My health is all I have. That is my whole life. If my body is my vessel, then it is my duty to make sure that it is the best vessel it can possibly be. Lucky, you're being very annoying. Can Mama please talk? Yes, I love you. Yes, you're so cute. Here, come here. Just come sit with me. There you go. So I started learning a little bit more about the carnivore diet and eating properly and learning about different things, how saturated fat is not bad, how cholesterol is actually good for you, and all of these things that I thought I knew just got blown up, and I had to reevaluate everything that I had heard, everything that I thought that I knew. It turns out that that pyramid, that food pyramid, is wrong. It should be like this. And then that's just a very simple way of saying it, and I'll go into nutrition more on another video. But when I got back into that, I started losing weight again, and I am now at 120 pounds, which was my goal. My goal was to hit 120 pounds on June 1st. I hit it on the 10th of June, so I was 10 days late, but I did hit it. It's a little harder once you get down more, when you're also trying to build muscle to lose the remaining fat. It's not as easy, and I still have pockets of fat that I'm trying to get rid of on my body. But I am no longer on any medications. The only thing I take is a prenatal multivitamin with what I think is the proper nutrients in it. There are some things that I believe may have caused my miscarriages. There's a gene mutation that I'm thinking I might have, which is not a big deal. It just means that you need a different kind of folate. That folic acid doesn't work for you. And even if you don't have the gene mutation, if you take the methylfolate instead of folic acid, it's no different. So there was no harm in that. It wasn't like I'm, trying to do gene therapy on myself, which I am not. But I've lost 80 pounds in 2 years. And yeah, I have the arm jiggle still. Yeah, I've got muscle here, but I've got all that I've got to get rid of still, that I'm working on, toning my skin up, which is not an easy thing. Once you stretch something out, it doesn't want to go back. That's just physics. But it was a long 2 years, and it took a lot of, I don't want to say hard work and determination, because I was already determined not to have to be on medication for diabetes. I wanted to cure myself. I took my blood sugar this morning and it was 103, which is absolutely fantastic. I've had it below 100. And as long as I eat the proper human diet and stick with animal products, I'm good. I might eat some nuts here and there, so I wouldn't say that I'm completely carnivore, but that's mainly my diet now, is meat, fresh, real meat. And that is the key if you're going to eat meat. You want to know where your meat is coming from. The meat that you get from the store, you don't know how old it is or what kind of chemicals have been injected into it to make it look better and, taste better, look fresh. And it's bits and pieces, leftovers, like ground beef is mixed up different pieces of different cows from you don't even know when. And it can be stamped USDA because it was packaged in the US. So the regulations, lucky, good gravy. I love you too, honey, but Mama's trying to record a video. If you haven't met Lucky yet, this is my little turd boy who must have attention all the time. My perpetual toddler. But that is how I lost 80 pounds, and I plan on keeping that off and losing a little bit more if I can. Not really trying to lose weight exactly. I'm trying to tone up, be as healthy as I possibly can. So to all of you out there that are also working towards these goals, join me. Let's do this together. It is always easier and better with someone else. And we can encourage each other in these journeys, because this is not a fad diet or anything where you just eat this way for a certain amount of time until you hit your goal and then you go back. No, this is a complete lifestyle change. The foods that I don't eat because they are not good for me. Wheat, grain, pasta, bread. Oh, bread. I love bread. But it's bad for me. My body does not like bread. I don't work well on it. When I'm eating sugar, I will have really bad acne. And aside from, a few bug bites here and there, I don't have any skin issues anymore. And I'll go into more of that later on in a further video. But that's my story. That's how I lost 80 pounds. And you can do it too. It's really not that hard. It's easy. It's the motivation to get you there. What motivates you? What motivated me was being healthy, being able to walk upstairs without being winded, being able to walk up to the mailbox up the hill. I wanted to be able to hike and go up mountains again, and I'm going to be doing that. One of my goals that I will be doing later on this year in the fall is I'm going to Grandfather Mountain in North Carolina, and I am going to park at there's 2 parking lots. You can park right at the top of the mountain, and then there's one that's just down below that. And there's a hiking trail that goes from the lower parking lot up the mountain to the sky bridge. It's a mile-high sky bridge. It's absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to try it last year, but I knew that I probably wouldn't be able to. But this year I'm going to do it. I haven't figured out what day yet. Sometime around Halloween, I'm going back to Grandfather Mountain, and I'm going to hike that trail all the way up. And that will be a very proud moment for me to be able to say that I was able to get my health back and hike up this mountain. I did it. And you can do it too. I believe in you. So join me. Send a like, comment. I read all my comments. I would love to connect with y'all. We can do this together. I know there's a few of you out there that are already excited to get started on your journey. So let's do this thing. Thank you all. If you have made it to the end of this video, give yourselves a round of applause. I hope you all have a terrific day, and I will catch you all later. Toodles.